So hello, everyone. Welcome to today's author revision webinar. Thank you for joining us. And I'm Anita, and I'm part of the Learning and Content Management team. Joining me from the Learning and Content Management team are my colleagues, Jennifer and Nikita. And we also will have a few of the researcher support team joining us to support this session today. So before we begin, a few housekeeping items. Firstly, please take a few moments to complete the poll you will see on your screen now. And if you have a question at any time during the content of the session, please use the Q&A option to send your questions directly to us. And we'll try to answer as many as possible questions today during the session itself in the Q&A channel. And if we cannot answer all the questions, we'll reply back to you directly after the session, but unless you post the questions anonymously. We'll also cover some of the frequently raised questions at the end of the session today. And for the best view, you may wish to drag the central bar on your screen to enlarge the screen that we are sharing. And you may also wish to enable the live transcripts via the bar on the bottom of your screen. And finally, our session is being recorded today, and you will be sent a link with the recording is ready. Now let's take a quick look at our agenda for today. So we will start by giving you an overview of the revision process in Editorial Manager. Please note, the steps may vary depending on journal configuration and the type of article being submitted. We will also provide you a brief explanation of the various editorial statuses your submission may progress through in Editorial Manager. And finally, we'll also give you some information on the submission tracker. So now let's get into Editorial Manager test site and explore the revision submission process together. Please know that I'm going to be using our training site for the demonstration with just dummy users and dummy submissions. So the training site is actually a good replica of the live environment, but it will look slightly different from your own profile. So please don't worry or bother if you don't see things today that you usually see when you log in into your profile. And this is primarily because of the rights and permissions granted for each role, and that may differ from journal to journal. So now let's get into the Editorial Manager screen. I'm going to just share the screen. Give me a second. Jenny, I hope the screen is all clear.
Yes, Anita, I can see your screen. Maybe you can make it a little
Increase
bigger.
The font.
Yeah.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much. Okay, let's increase the font size a little. Jenny, I hope this is fine.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. So to just begin with, and for instructions on how do you start your revision, we actually have a exclusive video on submitting a revision in Editorial Manager, which is posted on our YouTube channel. So the link of which will now be posted in the chat section for you all. So you can just bookmark it and refer to it later. So now we are in the Editorial Manager test site homepage. And if you're a new user, you can actually click on the register now button and register yourself. And if you're an existing user and you're not aware of your login details, you can obviously click on the send login details and get your username reset, your password reset. So I'm just going to go into the main menu now. So to begin with, for instructions on how to submit your revision, you can actually click on About button and click on the instruction for author link, so which is also called as guide for authors. And it is here at the top navigation bar, and it will actually contain specific instructions for submitting your revisions. So this is one of the first method for you to understand what are all the instructions that's required for you to submit a revision. And the second place where revision instructions can be found is the decision letter, which you would have received via email. And this letter may also be easily accessible via Editorial Manager. So how do you go and access the decision letter from Editorial Manager? So from your main menu here, click on Submissions Needing Revision folder, which is under the revision section. So click on here and locate the manuscript which you plan to modify. So there might be a few other submissions which you've already submitted and you've received the decision of revise. So you will see all those manuscripts here. So locate the one you wish to modify and click the link associated with the decision in the view decision column, as you could see here. So I'm just going to click on this now. So this will open up the decision letter, the editor's decision letter. Jenny, I hope you're able to see the decision letter now.
No, Anita, I cannot see the pop-up.
Okay, just a second. Okay, is it fine now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. So this letter will contain, if you could see, journal specific instructions for you to prepare for the revision. So as you could see here, as well as editor and reviewer comments detailing and any necessary changes. So you can see that from here. Additionally, if the decision letter included file attachments, they can be accessed by clicking on the attachments button here, which you could see, which is at the top of the letter. So preparing your files before you begin to resubmit allows a very smooth revision process and efficiently. So to see the source files you have submitted in the previous version, you have to go back to the previous page. I'm just going to click on that. So yeah, we are here again in the submitting with revision page. So to see the source files you've submitted in the previous revision, click on the file inventory in the action column of the manuscript. As you could see here. And here you can download all the individual files. So select multiple files to download in a compressed .zip file. So next, prepare your revised manuscript file and any other files as described in the decision letter. So as I showed you before, the decision letter will have all the details. And if the research is being supported by funding, be sure you have the details available, including funding body and grant numbers. And if you have co-authors, verify that you have the correct affiliation and contact details of all the authors. We'll also see the step when we actually go into the revision process. I'll actually take you through that step also. And if there are any changes to the author list, such as adding or removing an author or changing the author order, you must definitely have the agreement of all authors. So make sure you have all the information which is really necessary for you to submit a revision. So these are few of the steps you will have to prepare before you start submitting your revision. So now, once you have all the files ready and you're about to submit your revision, you can click on revise submission here. Yeah, as you could see in the action column. So just click on this and you will see a warning. So if you do not yet have all your revised manuscripts prepared, you can cancel now and come back when you're ready. Otherwise, click on OK. So we are now beginning with the revision process. So next step, you will be prompted to confirm the article type. Note it is rare to change the article type during revision. Doing so may result in different required fields or different required information. So be sure if you really wanted to change your article type, and also refer to the guide for authors for more information. Yeah. And once you're ready, you can click on proceed. So now we are at the attach file step. So a list will appear displaying the files uploaded in the previous version. So untick any files you would be replacing or removing and tick any files you want to copy into the revision. Yeah. So as you could see here. And when you're ready, you can click proceed, which is available at the bottom of the screen. And on the next screen, any required fields will be listed on the left side. So let's just wait for the pop-up to come. Yes. So as you could see here, on the left side, you will see what are all the mandatory fields that's required. So it will be actually mentioned in red color for you. And the journal may also require additional files for revision. And if you have changed the article type, yes, as I mentioned before, there may be different requirements as well. So when you click on the select item type, so it will actually clearly show you what are all the mandatory files that's required with an asterisk. So to upload a single file, select the item here and then click on browse button and locate the file. You can also drag and drop to update several files at once. And I'm just going to click browse quickly. And upload the file here. Okay. I think we have uploaded the files here. And if there are any duplicate file names or the items that could not be uploaded, system will definitely throw you an error. So I think it's all fine now. So the system is not throwing up any error. So you can just click on the dismiss button to clear the message. And now I'm just going to change the description of this because this is my response to reviewers. So this is one of the mandatory file type as you actually saw from this page, I mean, on the left side. So response to reviewers is definitely required when you submit a revision. I mean, it differs from journal to journal. So now once you're done, you will have to choose the item type and description as accordingly. So this is my detailed response to reviewers. And you can click on update file order. So click on update file order if you'd like to order the file. And then once you're ready, you can actually click on the proceed button once you've uploaded all your files. And in addition, there should not be any missing files also, such as figures, tables, supplementary files, LaTeX source files. So please make sure that you've uploaded all the mandatory files, which is really required for your revision. And now we are here in the general information step. So here, as you could see, the previously given information is all available here. So you can just check if all the information is right, or if you'd like to add on other additional information. So you can do so by clicking on the add classifications or whatever field is really required in the general information tab. You can do so. You may also be asked for new information for this revision. So for example, the journal may require more information at the revision stage or added a new requirement since your original submission. So once you have finalized this step, click on proceed button when you're ready to continue. And here, review your previously submitted, suggested, or opposed reviewers. And sometimes there might also be review preferences given. So if applicable for the journal, so feel free to update if necessary, or click on the proceed button if you're ready to move on with the next step. And here in this step, I mean, we are in the additional information tab. So you may also be asked to review or add additional information, such as answer journal specific revision questions at the additional information step. So if so, please review or respond as needed. So just go ahead and answer all the questions. And once you're done, click on the proceed button. And now we are here in the comments section. So at the comment step, please review comments you may have entered when you initially submitted and update if necessary. Okay. And some journals may also ask you to enter a response to the reviewers as a text comment. So as you could see here, so expand the respond to reviewers tab, and here you can type in your comments. So you can also quickly view the decision letter for you to just in case refer what is the exact question that's been raised by the reviewers. So you can use this view decision letter to go through that and then complete providing your response, detailed response to the reviewers. And once you're done, click on the proceed button. Now, on the manuscript data page, check everything very carefully. So the system will automatically put information here automatically. I mean, you need not enter any information here, but it is always good to cross-check to see if everything is right. And if you accept everything, then yeah, you can just move on with the next step. And on the, if you need to update the contact information for any co-authors, so if you could see all the tabs are available here, sections are available here, abstract, keywords, authors. So you can just expand quickly and see what is that you've given previously. And if you'd like to add any additional thing here, so I'm just gonna do that. And then yes, the co-authors, as I mentioned, if you'd like to add any co-authors or update contact information, you can always click on this author button and come here, click on this pencil button to open the author record and update the details of, if you'd like to update the affiliation or anything. And also you can add or remove authors or reorder the author list. So you'll have to just drag and drop the authors to reorder them. So you can just add as many by clicking on this button and make any changes. And these changes should only be made with the knowledge and agreement of all authors, as I mentioned before in the beginning of the session. And once you're done, if there is any missing required information, it's actually flagged in red. For example, let me just show you. So I'm just going to remove this title. And if you could see here, there is a red asterisk that says full title is required. So if there are any mandatory information, you will be asked to fill that, without which you will not be able to proceed to the next step. So now we have given everything. So it's all set now. And if you come to the bottom of the screen, you might see multiple options here. Click on back, save and submit, build PDF for approval. So if you would like to go back and complete the other steps, if you feel that you want to go back and add few information, you can always go back. And if you click on save and submit later at any time, or you leave the revision screen without building the PDF, your work will be automatically saved. So nothing to worry here. So you'll have to just go to your main menu and click on incomplete submissions to find the revisions in progress, which I'll maybe highlight when we complete this process. So now we are done. So let's click on build PDF for approval when you're ready. So I'm just going to click on this. So you will have to now move on to the revisions waiting for author's approval. So the system will automatically redirect you here. But before that, let me just go back to the main menu and show you the incomplete folder, as it just mentioned. So if you could see here, incomplete submissions being revised is available here. So you can click on this folder, which you've saved and did not submit. And if you'd like to edit the revision and continue, just click on the edit revision button and you can continue your submission. So you can proceed as usual, with the submission step as we just finished now, and you can go and submit the PDF for approval. So let me just go back to the main menu and let's get into revisions waiting for author's approval folder. Okay, so let's see if the PDF has been built. So this screen will automatically reload so many times and the action list will appear here on the left side once the PDF is ready. So as you could see, the PDF is now ready. Okay, the page is refreshing. Just a second. Okay, so as you could see, from the action columns, click on view revision to open or download the PDF. Check that your files appear as you intended. And for journals that require a response to reviewers, as I mentioned before, as a text comment, you can preview that by clicking the author response. So here is the author response button. So you can click and preview that if you need. And if you need to make any changes, you can always click on this edit revision to return back to the submission screen. You can also view the correspondence history or send an email to the journal. So here it is, the correspondence history, and send email to contact the journal staff quickly. And just click on the view revision button so that you'll make sure to see everything. That's right. And once you're done, yes, you can go and approve your revision. Click on this approve revision button. Okay, let me click on it again. The system might take a few seconds to open up the PDF. So as you could see, without this getting opened up at the bottom, you will not be able to approve the revision. So now the PDF is open. So you can just click on it, view all the details are right. And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and click on approve revision. And the system will ask you for a warning. Are you sure you want to approve the submission? Click on OK to submit your revision to the journal. So this might take a minute or two. So just wait for the confirmation message to appear. And now if you could see, your revision has been submitted to the journal and it says, thank you for approving. And the manuscript has now been submitted to the journal for processing. So this is how you submit your revision process. So I hope this is all clear now. And now let's go back to the presentation to continue with our rest of the agenda for today. So for that, I'm just going to go back to the presentation. Jenny, I hope the screen is all clear now.
Yes, Anita.
Thank you very much, Jenny, for confirming. So yeah, the next part of the agenda is going to cover how do you track your submission. So an author finishes writing his paper and submits it to the journal. The system now shows the status of the manuscript as manuscript submitted. Based on the workflow of the journal, the editorial office or the editor performs a technical check on your manuscript. And they will check the manuscript word count, format, and figure quality, etc. The next step is assigning it either to the editor-in-chief or an associate editor for further handling. Journals usually have multiple associate editors who are also termed as handling editors, and they are experts in a particular niche within the broader subject area. So your manuscript will be handled by the editor who has the highest level of understanding and experience with your paper's research topic. The status remains with editor until the editor either makes a decision or invites reviewers. Now, the handling editor has different action choices. Make a desk rejection, as you could see here, send the paper for revision, or invite reviewers. So the editor now conducts an initial screening of your paper and assesses it against several criteria such as novelty, priority, and scope. And if your paper is a better match for another journal, you may be offered a manuscript transfer. Also, it's possible that your paper does not meet some of the assessment criteria, and then the editor will reject it before going into the peer review. And if the editor decides that your paper is a good match for the journal, they will identify 2 or 3 independent reviewers depending on the journal configuration, and they will send them an invitation to review your manuscript. So now, when the editor invites reviewers, the status of the manuscript changes to under review. Once the required number of reviews are received and recommendations were submitted to the submitter, the status of the manuscript shows as required reviews completed. So now the handling editor will carefully study the review reports. It can happen that the referee reports are conflicting, in which case the editor would definitely need to find some additional reviewers. And when this happens, your submission returns to under review status once again. And when the editor has received high quality feedback from the reviewers, they will begin the decision-making process and move the status to decision in process, as you could see here in the screen. So the decision may need to be confirmed by multiple editors for few journals. The manuscript moves then to the editor-in-chief's account. So now the editor-in-chief submits his or her decision, and so there are multiple choice for the editors now. Multiple decision terms for the editors to choose. The first one, as you could see, is revise. So the editor is requested that you revise the submission. So you will find the details of the changes required and the deadline for your revision in the decision letter. And the next one is accept or reject. So the submission process is completed with either an accept or reject decision. In case of an accept decision, the manuscript will begin its production process and you will receive further information. The next one is transfer pending. So the editor has rejected your paper and suggested to transfer it. So the editor is recommended the submission be transferred to another journal via our automatic article transfer service, and you're offered a transfer. So we will wait for your response before proceeding any further. And the last one you could see is you accepted the transfer and the submission is now transferred to another journal for consideration. So we have also published a video on submission status explainer, which is also called as Track Your Submission, which will explain how your submission progresses after submitting the manuscript, and the link of the video will now be posted in the chat section. So please bookmark it for your reference. And the next thing I wanted to highlight here is about the submission tracker. So we have now introduced a submission tracker tool, which is also called as Track Your Submission tool for more than 2000 plus Elsevier journals. So once a journal is using a submission tracker, an email is sent to the corresponding author when the first reviewer is invited. So as you could see from this screenshot, the email contains link to the submission tracker landing page where the author can view the status of the review process of their submission. So note that the same link will remain active throughout the end-to-end peer review process. So we expect to have the submission tracker tool available to all journals in the near future. So this is how the submission tracker landing page looks for. And as you could see here, from here, you can monitor the complete status of your manuscript. So that brings us to the end of the webinar today. And thank you for listening. After the session, we'll send you an email that will contain some of the helpful links to the webinar recording, some of these short video guides that relate directly to the topic today. And so please look out for that email. It might not be sent immediately, but it will be shared when the webinar recording is ready. And please now take some time to complete the poll that you see on the screen before you could leave, and your answers will really help us to deliver more webinars like this one. So thank you once again. Thank you for joining us, and see you next time.